Bless up world. We back with another one. RBR exclusive. RBR the word, man. And what's the word this morning? It's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful day. We are in a change. We are in a shift. And change is inevitable. We are in a changing cycle, a changing world, a changing times. It's been a year since we had the first annual Nubian Festival. And in the cycle of that year, many things have passed. Fortunately, we're back with another Nubian Fest. Big ups to my bro, Emmanuel and Malai, founders of the Nubian Festival. Authentically me, you already know we do. We love health. You know, that being said, over the last year, there's been a lot of shifting things. It's a shifting cycle in the world. You know, we're watching the rise of the BRICS as a force to reckon with. We're watching the demise of the Western powers as a force to reckon with. We've now witnessed the fall of France, Great Britain, and they're falling one by one. And there's been, in our analytical history, something that Elijah Muhammad wrote many years ago, a book called The Fall of America. I wonder, are we in these final times? Is the great empire in its final throes? But more importantly, one of the biggest events to happen over this last year was in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, there's been many wars, rumors of wars, and so on. There's been talks of unidentified flying objects, talks of gateways and all kind of events. But one of the biggest things that happened this year so far is the satellites have discovered below the pyramids 8 columns that go thousands of feet down into the pyramids. And at the ending of those, they end on 2 major boxes, and those boxes sit on top of something the size of a football field or 2. And we gotta ask ourselves, what kind of technology is that? We don't even have the sophistication to do some of the things that we've found surrounding the pyramids. So one has to ask, who was the builders of the pyramids? First and foremost, when we talk about the pyramids, we got to talk about Egypt. When we talk about Egypt, we have to talk about Nubians, hence the Nubian Fest. Who are the Nubians? We are the Nubians. So why aren't the Nubians all over Egypt today? Because most of Egypt today is occupied by the Arabs. It's mostly an Arabic-speaking country. And the Arabs would have us believe that the Nubians had little or nothing to do with the building of the pyramids or with the occupation of the pyramids. And we know that to be very false. But the Nubians are still there in Egypt today, in a part called Aswan. And when you see these Nubians, they look just like me, of course. They are me. In fact, there's a guy in Egypt called Hawass, and he's head of the archaeological research in Egypt right now. And he doesn't allow much to happen in that regard. So that's why you don't have any real narratives coming out of Egypt when it comes to the pyramids. And here with this discovery, it's turned the narrative upside down. You can't run around telling us that these people who you've said built the pyramids historically built them. Or the technology that you said they had. You say they were primitive. They're not primitive. This technology far surpasses what we're dealing with today. So that means our prehistory is filled with science and mathematics. More science and mathematics than what we're dealing with today. And that tells a story within itself, that the information that we're given about the past is not quite true. The history has been written by the conquerors, and they've told a million lies. I'm here to tell you. The fact is, they have no idea who built the pyramids and how they built the pyramids. However, in the pyramids, there are sciences that point to high science. Science of the ether, science of the pyramids being a power complex, a universal power complex, or more. It's been said that there have been doors that some of the great kings of rulers of Egypt said they could walk through the door and end up in the Middle East, or walk through the door and end up in China, or walk through the doors and end up in Europe. So it's many mysteries to our history, many mysteries to the pyramids, many mystery to our reality. Isn't it time that we start to reassess what we've been taught? For instance, you know, the James Webb telescope is out above in the stratosphere in the universe right now, and it's been taking pictures of deep space. And the assessment that the conclusions that the scientists are coming to is that some of the things that it's finding are mind-bending because they shouldn't exist, they shouldn't be. Or things that they said they would find, like universes, like very old universes. No, the opposite. They're finding very young universes that's just being born. So it tells you that their science is skewed, the historical facts are skewed, and then you come to what Russia revealed to us about a year ago, which we already knew, most of us. Russia revealed the fact that most of the biblical figures were not the pale manifestation that we see according to the Roman Catholic Church, but were in fact brown people in those times. They have a whole history of figures and craftsmanship and paintings that tell a different story. So you have to ask yourself, what are we missing? What are all the lies about? And what are they covering up? Isn't it time that you take the time to evaluate and research the research that you did before? Meaning the things that we researched before, we have to reevaluate them because the facts that we were researching may not indeed have been facts at all. Might have just been more whitewashed lies. So my people, blacks and whites alike, take the time to reevaluate your history. There's something very, very, very skewed about what we're being told. Perhaps it's all been a lie. One thing is for certain, change is inevitable, and we're in a shift. We're in a change in time. In the horoscope world, the astrological world, they say we're in the age of Aquarius, the beginning stages. Aquarius is the water bearer. And you know what water is. Water is wisdom. So my peoples, whether you like me or whether you don't like me, whether you represent people like me or you don't, you have a journey of your own that you have to deal with. And that journey is the lies that's been sown and grown into a reality. We have to begin to break down this false reality, this false narrative, and seek truth. So if you're a seek truther, continue to visit the station, man, and we'll continue to assess and talk about things that's happening in real time. And with that being said, I'm out. Holla at me, RBR the Word. You already know. Peace and blessings.